Hollywood has always had its rivalries, but few were as quietly intense as the one between Glenn Ford and Richard Boone. Ford, a disciplined and deeply thoughtful actor, had a dislike for Boone that went far beyond ordinary annoyance. Their careers overlapped during the 1950s and 1960s, a time when both men were prominent in film and television. Boone, tall, charismatic, and magnetic, was a natural presence on screen. But to Ford, Boone represented everything he found troubling about a changing Hollywood: success that seemed unearned, poise that felt effortless, and a screen presence that lacked the subtle struggle Ford prized. Ford's disdain wasn't rooted in jealousy. He respected talent and achievement. What bothered him was what Boone symbolized: a shortcut through the rigors of the studio system. Ford had been molded by years of apprenticeships, minor roles, and painstaking discipline, a path demanding humility, patience, and respect for the craft. Every achievement was earned, every role tested. Boone, in contrast, seemed to glide to prominence with confidence and charm, without enduring the trials Ford had faced. In Ford's view, great acting required struggle, emotional depth, and life experience. Boone's performances, though technically polished and compelling, lacked the scars and quiet tension that Ford considered essential to authenticity. It wasn't that he was a bad actor, Ford admitted in later years. It was what he represented for those of us who had paid our dues. Their rivalry was subtle, never explosive, and rarely publicized. Ford did not enjoy confrontation, but privately, Boone's effortless ascent and the admiration he received left Ford feeling both frustrated and nostalgic for a Hollywood that rewarded hard work over instant charisma. Boone was a symbol of the new era, a reminder that the old rules of discipline and apprenticeship were giving way to a world driven more by image than by rigor. Even so, Ford acknowledged Boone's professionalism. He showed up, did the work, and commanded the screen with undeniable skill. Yet for Ford, acting was about more than just presence, it was about internal conflict, restraint, and authenticity. Boone, brilliant though he was, had not walked the same slow, proving ground journey Ford had endured, and that difference mattered deeply to him. Ultimately, Glenn Ford's animosity toward Richard Boone was less about the men and more about the shift Boone represented. It was a quiet mourning for a bygone era of Hollywood, a time when actors earned their place through struggle, patience, and a deep respect for the craft. "It wasn't him I hated," Ford once said. "It was what came after us." Through Boone, Ford confronted a changing industry and the uncomfortable truth that the studio system and the apprenticeship it demanded were fading. Boone wasn't the villain, he was the mirror of an era ending, a symbol of a Hollywood evolving beyond the world that had forged Glenn Ford into the actor he became.